Hey guys, I'm PaperSach. Welcome to the Stanley Parable. Now this game is hilariously fun, but it's also pretty old. I haven't played this game in a couple of years, I don't know exactly when it came out, but it's been a couple years since I played it, and I've forgotten most everything about it. And so I thought it'd be really fun for us to revisit together. Considering that I've recorded like 5 videos this week, and none of them have been able to go up because they've all been corrupted, or it didn't record, or something messed up, or something broke halfway through it. So hopefully this one records. If you guys see this video, that means everything went well, everything went right, and it's all back to normal. If you don't, then crap.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy. And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Whoops. Okay, so here we are. Wow, this looks a lot better than I remember it looking. Well, not to say that it didn't look good.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
That door just closed.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
No, this don't open. Any of this open? Like I said, I don't remember anything about it, and I was not going to brush up on my memory before playing this.
No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Oh yeah. By the way, the narrator talks a lot during this game, so it's going to be mostly listening.
Stanley went around touching every little thing in the office, but it didn't make a single difference, nor did it advance the story in any way.
If I want to go around touching everything in my path, I will do just that. You have no control over me. Okay, but none of these open? Okay. Well, we're going to progress anyway, not because he told me to, but because I want to. None of these open?
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Okay, see, now here's the fun part, is you don't have to do what the narrator says. Not to brag, but I'm going on this door.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
That's exactly what I want to do, thank you very much. That's exactly what I had in mind. I was going to the employee lounge. Ooh, this is nice.
Yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room.
It's very
Stanley
nice.
simply stood here, drinking it all in.
Okay.
But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
I could. But there's also an open door there, giving me the opportunity to go through here.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
I'm actually Employee of the Month. Thank you very much. What's in here? Oh, it's the warehouse. Oh, that's cool. Who can open this door? That door requires a key. Or a key card. Penalty for misuse of cargo lift, $1,000. Penalty for jumping off the cargo lift, $5,000. Do not jump from the cargo lift while it's in motion, will cause death. Oh, but there's an exit.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really.
I don't want to jump.
I realize that investing
But I
your
do wanna
trust in
jump.
someone else can be
Oh, I can put it
difficult,
on there.
but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time.
Really?
There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about.
Who's that?
Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her.
Who's her?
This is it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself, to put your work aside, to let her back into your life.
Who's her?
She's been waiting.
Jeez.
That's her, Stanley. You need to be the one to do this, to reach out to her.
Who's her?
If you can truly place your faith in another, then pick up the phone.
Hello? Whoa.
Oh, Stanley, is that you? Hold on, sweetie. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm just pulling the bread out of the oven.
Okay.
All right. Okay, there we go. All right, now,
Is that
I
my
want you to come in and tell me all about your day.
Gotcha.
You're kind of a dick,
Oh,
aren't you?
come on. Did you actually think you had a loving wife?
Yeah,
Who'd want
for
to
a
commit
second
their
I
life
did.
to you? I'm trying to make a point here, Stanley. I'm trying to get you to see something. Come inside. Let me show you what's really going on here.
No.
Sorry, but you're in my story now.
Oh, okay. So we're gonna be like that. This narrator's kind of a dick.
This is a very sad story about the death of a man named Stanley.
No, I didn't die. Good morning, employee 427. Press K on your keyboard.
Stanley is quite a boring fellow. He has a
Okay.
job that demands nothing of him, and every button that he pushes is a reminder of the inconsequential nature of his existence.
Press 7. I don't want to press 7. 8. 6. Okay.
Look at him there, pushing buttons, doing exactly what he's told to do.
Oh my.
Now
Is
he's
this gonna
pushing a
load my-
button. Now he's eating lunch. Now he's going home. Now he's coming back to work.
Is this gonna load
One
my
might even
office
feel
back
sorry
up?
for him, except that he's chosen this life.
Oh no.
But in his mind, in his mind he can go on fantastic adventures. From behind his desk, Stanley dreamed of wild expeditions into the unknown, fantastic discoveries of new lands. It was wonderful. And each day that he returned to work was a reminder that none of it would ever happen to him.
Oh, it sucks. Press R to watch TV.
And so he began to fantasize about his own job.
It took away my
First, he
TV.
imagined that one day while at work, he stepped up from his desk to realize that all of his co-workers, his boss, everyone in the building had suddenly vanished off the face of the earth. The thought excited him terribly.
Excited. Press Q to spend time with the boys.
So he went further. He
Oh, man,
imagined
what
that he
did that
came
take
to
away?
2 open doors and that he could go through either. At last, choice. It barely even mattered what lay behind each door. The mere thought that his decisions would mean something was almost too wonderful to behold. As he wandered through this fantasy world, he began to fill it with many possible paths and destinations. Down one path lay an enormous round room with monitors and mind controls.
Oh, really?
Down another was a yellow line that weaved in many directions, and down another was a game with a baby. And he called it the Stanley Parable. It was such a wonderful fantasy, and so in his head he relived it again, and then again, and again, over and over, wishing beyond hope that it would never end, that he might always feel this free. Surely there's an answer down some new path, mustn't there be? Perhaps if he played just one more time.
Aww. Is she gonna disappear?
But there is no answer. How could there possibly be? In reality, all he's doing is pushing the same buttons he always has. Nothing has changed. The longer he spends here, the more invested he gets, the more he forgets which life is the real one.
What?
And I'm trying to tell him this, that in this world he
Okay,
can
sir,
never
there.
be anything but an observer. that as long as he remains here, he's slowly killing
Oh, that's a
himself.
bit of tea.
But he won't listen to me. He won't stop. Here, watch this. Stanley, the next time the screen asks you to push a button, do not do it. You see? Can he just not hear me? How can I tell him in a way that he'll understand that every second he remains here, he's electing to kill himself? How can I get him to see what I see? How can I make him look at himself?
To question.
I suppose I can't, not in the way I want him to. But I don't make the rules. I simply play to my intended purpose, the same as Stanley. We're not so different, I suppose.
No, we're
I'll
not.
try once more to convey all this to him. I'm compelled to. I must. Perhaps, well, maybe this time he'll see. Maybe this time. And I tried again.
Please
and Stanley
die.
pushed a button. And I tried again. And Stanley pushed a button. And I tried.
What just happened? The end is never, the end is never, the end is never, the end is never. What just happened? What the heck? Is anything new?
When Stanley came
Oh.
to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Okay, let's do everything he says this time. Okay. Okay. There's a window.
Yet there was not a single person here either.
No.
Feeling a wave of disbelief,
Talk less,
Stanley
do
decided to
improving
go
his work all
up to
the
his
time every day.
boss's
Work
office,
with his
hoping he might find an answer there.
Let it ball up inside you. Take it out passive aggressively on other coworkers. Resent coworkers for not supporting you more. Let it ball up inside you. Is there more of these? Using slides to show the employees that everything is okay. Make sure slides the slick blue graphic in the header and put some bevel on the text. Ensure a calm and productive work environment. Everyone is unique. You most of all. That's actually really funny. Okay. What does it say? Synergize. Number of slides on the slide. Slides, charts, and slides, charts. Okay. Let's go here.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Okay. Can do that. Is it executive bathroom? That's not my boss's office. Is this my boss's office?
Stepping into his manager's office,
Holy
Stanley was once
hell,
again
is that a high
stunned to
ceiling?
discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in
nice.
disbelief who orchestrated this, what dark secret was being held from him. What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this. Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
Okay. This is different. Okay, sorry, that
Descending
loading
deeper into
screen
the
took forever.
building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar.
Yeah.
It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why
Okay.
did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long.
Okay. This is kind of creepy.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
That says escape. Okay. We're gonna do everything he says this one time.
The lights rose on an enormous
Holy
room packed with
crap.
television screens. What
this what I was
horrible
talking about a
secret
while
did this
ago?
place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
What the heck? This is like NSA times 10.
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed.
Fired.
Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley,
Is that
one of
somebody's
them,
living room?
eternally monitored
Wait,
in
what's
this
this?
place where freedom meant nothing.
What's that one? That one's not there. Neither is that one. Some that are missing. Wait a second, is that one just... Is 364 just a cabinet? Wait, 247. There's Stanley right there. It's just a cabinet.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this
Fire.
time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly?
That's what it seems like.
No. He refused
okay.
to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in
kind of
someone
looking at it.
else's control? Never. It
kind of
was
looking at it.
unthinkable.
How could I not accept
Wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world?
That's what it looks like. What is this?
But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy or sad
control sets
or content.
offline.
Walking, eating,
Offline.
working. All of it monitored and commanded from
Offline.
this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life.
Okay.
For he would dismantle the controls once and
Red
for all.
Wait, how am I supposed to do that? Whoa. Console disabled. 2. 1, 2, 5. Is there one up here? 4. So I've got 1, 2, 4, and 5. Okay, let me find 3. Where's 3? Is 3 right there on that side? That's what it seems like. Oh, there's 3. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. I think I can do that. Do I press 1 to start? Maybe I press the red button to do it. The shiny red button. Can I sprint? No? Okay. Let me go press 3. 3? Okay. This is weird. There's a door up there. 4? Oh, wait a second. It's in an order. Okay, so 4. Is it 4? Dang it. Okay. Crap. This is gonna take a while. Okay, so it's not in any kind of order. Okay. Let's see, that one's got 4. What? I don't know. Is there anything else I can press? What the heck? Awaiting input. That's not pressing. Okay, let's just go in this next room. Press 5. Sure. Awaiting input. Huh.
And when at last he found the source of the room's power, he knew it was his duty, his obligation, to put an end to this horrible place and to everything it stood for.
Okay. I'll turn it off now. Is that it? Why is my mouse flashing?
Blackness and a rising chill of uncertainty.
Yeah, am I dead?
Was it over?
Wait, what's that?
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
He had won. He had defeated the machine.
There's something there.
Unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened,
Is it gonna
Stanley
stop?
reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone?
Yeah.
How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him.
Whoa, it's actually
For it was
yours.
not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he
Whoa, it's
lives,
actually really
it will
pretty.
be his. And that was all he needed to know.
It's actually really
It
pretty.
was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door.
That's awesome.
Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him.
That is
This was
awesome.
exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
That's cool. Okay, so that's the good ending. We got the bad ending. We got the two best ones out, I guess. The two mainstream basic ones. We got those out of the way. Okay, we're back at 427. Okay.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
Wait a second.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Wait a second. My office is different. What? Welcome to the whiteboard ending? Console bar. Whiteboard ending. Okay. Yay! Got another ending. Console bark. Okay. Well, we got another ending, I guess.
Stanley went around touching every little thing in the office,
Yeah,
but
because
it
it's
didn't make a
different.
single difference, nor did it advance the story in any way.
This is different.
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Okay, let's go do the rest, but this time we're gonna do the escape instead of the normal. Like go into the command control room, we're gonna do the escape and see how that works.
Yet there was not a single person here either.
Yeah, no, talk less, don't be
Feeling a
tired.
wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office,
Oh, yeah.
hoping he might find an answer there.
How did I miss
Stanley
this?
stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track.
No, I want to stay in here for just a minute. What's in here?
There was nothing here. No
Okay.
choice to make, no path to follow, just an empty broom closet. No reason to still be here.
Your tone makes me want to stay. And that wire down there
It
looks
was
like it has-
baffling that Stanley was still just sitting in the broom closet. He wasn't even doing anything. At least if there was something to interact with, he'd be justified in some way. As it is, he's literally just standing there doing sweet FA.
Well, it seems like that because you keep talking,
Are you
I should be in
really
here.
still in the broom closet?
Yes.
Standing around doing nothing?
Yeah, that's what
Why?
it seems like.
Please offer me some explanation here. I'm genuinely confused.
Because it's a broom closet? Why else would I not be in here? It's awesome.
You do realize there's no choice or anything in here, right?
Right.
If I'd said Stanley walked past the broom closet, at least you would have had a reason for exploring it to find out.
Yeah.
But it didn't even occur to me because literally this closet is of absolutely no significance to the story whatsoever. I never would have
Then why
thought
is it
to
here?
mention it.
Then why is it here? So how long do I have
Maybe to you this is somehow its own branching path. Maybe when you go talk about this with your friend you'll say, "Oh, did you get the broom closet ending? The broom closet ending was my favourite." I hope your friends find this concerning.
So there is a broom closet ending.
Stanley was fat and ugly and really, really stupid. He probably only got the job because of a family connection. That's how stupid he is. That or with drug money. Also,
Drug
Stanley is addicted to drugs and hookers.
Oh, okay.
Well, I've come to a very definite conclusion about what's going on right now. You're dead. You got to this broom closet, explored it a bit, and were just about to leave because there's nothing here when a physical malady of some sort shut down your central nervous system and you collapsed on the keyboard.
I'm only dead on the
Well, in
inside.
a situation like this, the responsible thing is to alert someone nearby so as to ensure that your body is taken care of before it begins to decompose.
Okay.
Hello? Anyone who happens to be nearby? The person at this computer is dead. He or she has fallen prey to any number of your countless human physiological vulnerabilities. It's indicative of the long-term sustainability of your species. Please remove their corpse from the area and instruct another human to take their place at the computer, making sure they understand basic first-person video game mechanics and filling them in on the history of narrative tropes in video gaming, so that the irony and insightful commentary of this game is not lost on them.
I'm
All
only
right,
dead on
when
the
you've done
inside.
that, just step out into
and
the
I've got
hallway.
headphones on. Is that it? Is that it? Okay. I think that's it. I think it's time to go now. Okay. I'll give it a couple more seconds to see if anything else happens. It sticks to that clicking triggers it. So, that's why I'm clicking. Okay.
Ah, second player. It's good to have you on board. I guarantee you too. Unbelievable. I'm
That
at the
was
mercy
funny.
of an entire species of invalids. Perhaps there's a monkey nearby you can hand the controls to. A fish? Fungus? Look, you can hammer out the details. I'm not particularly picky. I'll just be waiting for when you're ready to pick up the story again.
That's so funny. Okay. I'm gonna head out. Okay.
Coming to a staircase,
There we go.
Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Yeah, and we're gonna do the escape thing. Okay. I wanna know what's inside this executive bathroom. Oh, it does open. Money in the morning, money in the evening, money for breakfast, money crisp. Okay. Now I'm stuck in the bathroom. Is this a thing I need to be in? Can I do something in here? There any secrets? Yes, not. Okay. Huh, what's this? Wait. Business strategy. Point a gun at a panda. Okay. Oh man, I want to go in there. What? Why is that glitching out like that? Oh, okay, fine. We're just gonna explore. We're not really gonna look for certain endings. We're just gonna play the game and get what we get. I've heard this music somewhere before. Why is that doing that? You guys see that? We're just not gonna look at it. Is that the narrator singing? This is so fun. No, I want to get out. Ah, dang it. Okay. So you can just listen to music in there. Is there something at this desk? Guess not. Green board. Okay.
Stepping into his manager's office,
What was the code
Stanley
again?
was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. What could it mean? Stanley wondered
Oh, yeah, right
aloud
there.
to nobody. He began
What is
wildly
that?
tearing through papers on the boss's desk, pulling books off the shelf,
Oh, okay.
looking behind paintings, desperate for clues to his situation.
Wait, looking behind
But his
paintings.
attention was caught by a keypad behind the boss's desk.
Can't look
What could
behind
its
paintings,
purpose
can I?
be? In fact, this keypad guarded the terrible secret that lay buried below his feet.
Okay.
And so the boss had assigned it an extra
Starts
secret
with
pin
2,
number.
doesn't it?
2845.
4 or 5.
But of course, Stanley could, yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
Okay. This is cool. What's over here? Nothing. Okay. Let's go down there. Boop. I escaped and I died. So we're somewhere in between there now. And we've also got player 2 now. So me apparently died. And so now there's someone else playing as me at this computer recording this video. So hopefully you like them too.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read
Escape.
Mind Control Facility. Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death.
That's fine. I'm okay with
The door
violent death.
behind him was
Bring
not
it on.
shut. Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track.
But he doesn't want to.
At this point, Stanley was making a conscious, concerted effort to walk forward and willingly confront his death.
Yes. I'm inviting death at this point. Give it to me. Just jumped. Oh, that's not good. Oh, hey. I thought I was just gonna restart and I was gonna be dead.
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley was inched closer and closer to his demise, he reflected that his life had been of no consequence whatsoever. Stanley can't see the bigger picture. He doesn't know the real story, trapped forever in his narrow vision of what this world is. Perhaps his death was of no great loss, like plucking the eyeballs from a blind man. And so he resigned and willingly accepted this violent end to his brief and shallow life. Farewell, Stanley.
Well, here it goes.
"Farewell, Stanley," cried the narrator, as Stanley was led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, Stanley was obliterated as the machine crushed every bone in his body, killing him instantly.
Okay.
And yet it would be just a few minutes before Stanley would restart the game, back in his office, as alive as ever. What exactly did the narrator think he was going to accomplish?
What is this?
When every path you can walk has been created for you long in advance, death becomes meaningless, making life the same. Do you see now? Do you see that Stanley was already dead from the moment he hit start?
Oh. A selection of buttons that sounds used throughout the game. When buttons are pressed, each sound is a mix of keyboard strokes and synthesized tone. Huh. What is this? Maintenance room. Is this like actually the end? Oh, that's so cool. Warzone. Is this a new game? Yeah. And on a battlefield fighting aliens. That's awesome. Against the narrator. Too joking on the nose tone of game, plus some people doesn't make even people who like shooters. Which was not our intention. Dang it, that would have been awesome. Why? Why did they not do that? Narrator emails. Huh. What would you do if Stanley entered any other room? Sergei Medvedko? Alex Epiphysis. Huh, okay. That's cool. This is just weird. The apartment timer. Don't know what this... Are these alternate endings I could have gotten? Doorway to the maintenance lounge. The vent. Hey. There was a vent. Where was that vent at? In the lounge. The other entrance would be hidden depending on how you entered. To confusion ending. Doorway to maintenance in the lounge in the original. Back on the track option. Huh. Yeah, I didn't get any of those. Zending levers. Okay, so how do I get out of this? The game is now paused. Begin the game again. Do I really just have to, like, restart it? No, wait, exit it.
Oh, look at these two. How they wish to destroy one another. How they wish to control one another. How they both wish to be free.
Off?
Can you see? Can you see how much they need one another?
No, actually it's black.
No, perhaps not. Sometimes these things cannot be seen.
It's too dark.
But listen to me. You can still save these two. You can stop the program before they both fail. Push escape and press quit. There's no other way to beat this game. As long as you move forward, you'll be walking someone else's path. Stop now, and it'll be your only true choice. Whatever you do, choose it. Don't let time choose for you. Don't let time...
I'll let it kill me. I'll let it kill me. I'm not a quitter. Quitters never win. You have to take it like a man. Is that really it? Aw, really? Do I really have to quit? I'm gonna give it a couple seconds. Gives me a chance to talk. Come on. Okay. Quit to menu. Okay, well, I'm gonna leave this episode here. Maybe episode. I don't know. We might play this game again. But if you, that's depending on if you guys liked it. So if you guys liked it, please remember to leave a like and subscribe. If this video gets like good, if this video does well, then I'll of course play another episode of it. But This is just kind of a test for my recording software because I haven't been able to upload anything in the past few days. I've been recording a lot, not being able to upload. So hopefully this goes up and you guys like it, and I will see all of you guys in the next video. Bye!